And then there were 4 back at PSL Michigan. Michael Rosencrantz, Chris Mills with you, the 15-time national record holder. And Chris, you touched on it. Here's where things could get interesting here. Miles Reavis, the native of Farmington Hills, going up against Owen Stotts, the native of Indianapolis. And both these two have very close times together officially in the WCA. So it could be anyone's match here.
Yeah, and this is an important match as well. As Tyler said, the loser is eliminated and the winner goes to the losers finals and will make it to the top 3 at this competition.
Miles gonna get things started here in this lower semifinals, working through last layer now, 965. A little bit of a slower start there for Miles.
6.5 second solve.
Yeah, not a great start, looking super shaky. This match is really just going to come down to who can hold their nerve better. Both of them very similar speeds, like within 0.2 seconds their official averages are. Both of them haven't had great performances at more recent competitions, although Owen's PR average was just 2 rounds ago.
Stotts smooth and methodical there. Big pause there going into the last layer. 949. He squeaks by and takes the first solve.
Owen has realized that now is not the time to be clowning around. He decided to lock in on this solve, and this F2L was looking pretty smooth. Some good choices based on EO as well. Could have skipped EO and OLL there, but a well-executed A-perm and just scrapes by, and that's starting to look a little bit more like what we know Owen is capable of.
No doubt. Here goes Miles here for his second solve. Through F2L at about 7 seconds. Puts it down with an 881. A little better there for Miles.
Yeah, 881. That's very close to his best in WCA events, and a few pauses throughout this F2L, but some decent choices despite a few rotations. Some lockups in the OLL there and the PLL, but still a sub-9 is a great solve to throw down, and that's going to put some pressure on Stu.
Absolutely, has to beat an 881 here, and here goes Stotts. Again, methodical through F2L, gets through it there. Can he get on with last layer in a fast time? He cannot! Reavis takes the set by 0.05 of a second.
0.05 difference. The match is tied up at
Owen's PLL recognition is just abysmal under pressure. The time it takes him to recognize a PLL, most cubers at his speed could be recognizing ZB. A well-executed OLL, but then just a U prime, that's what cost him the win.
Yeah, just a slight hesitation, Chris, can cost just such precious time, and you hit it. Not the time to be doing it right now. Here goes Miles. Solve number 3 total in this first of 3 sets. 850 there for Miles.
Cool, calm, and collected. 8.5, no reaction, trying to stay locked in, doesn't want to get too excited, knows he hasn't won the solve just yet, and this match is still tied up unless Owen, well, it's down to Owen now, who's going to take the lead. He needs 8.5 to take the lead. Anything slower than that and he'll be facing set point.
Owen trying to stay calm himself, has to beat an 850 again. With Chris mentioning it, PLL recognition has not been there for Owen today. Couple rotations there through F2L. Big pause there in between. Puts it down with a 10-12, and Miles is going to go up 2 sets to 1.
Looks like we've got a little bit of drama here. We'll get the officials in to figure out what's going on. I am not entirely sure. We'll try to figure it out.
Yeah, right away when Owen put the cube down, he noticed something right away, and him and Tyler were talking immediately. So this could be an incident that we are going to try and figure out. Not sure what it is right now, but we could get another instant replay review here if it were to be possibly something with the scramble, if it was the same or not.
Yeah, that seems like it might be the case.
Land, right? Miles? Yeah, he saw first.
Officials are trying to figure it out. We are as confused as you guys are. We'll keep you updated when we get more information.
Give us. Yes. No. Well, it's not. It's on.
Yeah, it looks like we could be going to another instant replay review here for something. And again, we will keep you updated as we know more information. They're trying to work through it as it is right now.
Due to a
And we're getting an
judge's error
explanation.
not calling the 8 to 12 second warning, we are going to need to redo the solves.
Interesting. So the judge did not make inspection calls. So maybe he went over inspection time or something, and that's why they've redone the solve. But either way, those solves are not going to matter. That is disappointing for Miles because he had an 8.5, which has just been reset there. So it's going back to 1-1, and we'll do that solve all over again.
I think it's the first time that we've seen something like that. Judge not being able to call out inspection time, so that warrants a redo of the solve. And again, Chris, great point. 850 there for Miles on his first solve. That was his fastest, I believe, of this entire set. He constantly improving during this entire set, and now he's going to have to redo it again. In a situation like that, Chris, how much of that affects your mental as a cuber?
Yeah, I mean, that absolutely sucks to get a better solve and have to do it all over again, but you've done it before, you know you can do it again. And that 8.5 was nothing special, there was no luck, it wasn't an extravagant solve by any means, it looked very standard for Miles, so I know he's capable of doing that on a consistent basis. Hopefully he believes that too, and he can also get a great solve now on this redo.
Here we go. For those just joining us, just had inspection times not being called out, so we are redoing the solve. It is 1-1 right now. Each is tied up. Timer started and then immediately stopped again. We might have some more drama here.
That will be a DNF.
Oh my goodness. Seems like a
They're going to rule it a
DNF.
DNF.
Oh, that is brutal for Miles. From winning the solve to instantly losing it, Owen does not even need to sit down here because that, as we've seen before, is an instant loss of solve. So then Miles will be going to do his next one.
Wow.
I want to watch
That
a
is just
replay on what
absolutely...
happened on that one.
That is just absolutely demoralizing for Miles here in this one. And Owen again up 2-1. Here's the replay coming your way.
That is the second solve Owen has won automatically. Let's see what happens.
So
no,
hands
that's
on the
an
timer
extra.
clearly for enough time. That did not appear to me like he made another motion to stop the timer. This should be an extra, shouldn't it?
Yeah, I want to watch that one more time. If we can go back, I honestly think that was a timer malfunction. I didn't see his hands move. I didn't see his thumbs move. I'd like to watch it one more time because I think there might be an incorrect ruling. Oh, here we go. Now
And
we've got
we
the
are
officials in.
indeed
They are
going
gonna
to
check.
another instant replay review. Indeed.
Our replay review booth in Simi Valley, California has given some further context. We are going into a VAR to look at the timer stop.
So here is the replay again. So you can see here, Chris, both hands on the timer, clearly holds it down long enough.
Ooh, actually,
and lifts
no,
his
I think
hands
I
off
do
the
see the
timer.
left thumb move off.
Oh.
I think I do see the left thumb move off. I think that was a human error there. I think that, yeah,
It's
DNF
very,
might
very
be the correct
close.
call there.
But I think DNF was the call originally,
causing the timer to start.
and it looks like they could stick with this call here to DNF with that left thumb just moving off.
Yeah, I think that's just a case of unfamiliarity with the 4-pad timer mode, not used to having to hold your thumbs so still as you're starting the timer. I'm not sure what the verdict was. I think DNF was the right call. You can see that left thumb move very slightly. It's just in an unfortunate way, especially after this is redoing such a quick solve.
Man, it is just so close there on that instant replay there. And they do move the solves to 2-1. So DNF looks like it is the official verdict. So once again, Owen not being offered to solve because of that DNF. And Miles is going to go right in to total solve number 4. Man, Miles just got to be a little frazzled after that one, especially with getting an 850 and a DNF here. He's going to have to try and
8 seconds.
put together something here. Clean timer start this time, and he goes for white cross. Smooth turning here through Miles, trying to work through F2L, does so. Puts it down with an 885.
There you go. That's a bit better. A good solve when you're facing set point and an unfortunate way you had the win. You were 2-1 up. Then, because of a judging error, you had to redo the solve. And then on that solve redo, you your thumb moved just slightly, which leads to a DNF. And on 885, that's a good solve to hopefully level that out to 2.
12.
885, the time to beat for Stotts. Slow start here, picking up the cube. Still has to work through F2L. This is not going to do it, Chris. Gets through last layer with a 951. Miles ties it up at 2.
Too many rotations, too many pauses in that F2L. And a 9.5, that's decent for Owen, but not decent enough. And yet, leveled it out 2-2. I'm happy to see Miles get another chance to prove himself, because he's definitely looked like the faster competitor in this set.
8 seconds.
No doubt. Remember, 833 is the WCA average for Miles, and it's 817 for Stotts. Here goes Miles once again, working on white cross. Big pause there, working through F2L. This is going to be one he wants to put behind him. 1126.
He managed to hold it together on the previous point that mattered, but this one he needed to win it to win this set. This is a best of 3, so he's not out just yet. But the pressure really felt by him there. Some poor choices in F2L, some big fumbles in OLL, and at 11, surely Owen can beat that.
8 seconds.
1126, the time to beat for Owen. Here he goes. White cross is the choice here. Again, pretty methodical here, working on F2L. Able to get through it there in about 8 seconds. Working on last layer now, 1091. Not quick, but quick enough. Owen takes set number 1.
And he needs to stay in that seat because he will be solving first. There we go. He's just realized that. Yeah, 1091, only just taking that last solve. Miles is going to be kicking himself for missing that opportunity to win that set. But it's not over yet. I still think Miles is looking much faster in this match. He's just had some unlucky calls, he's had some unlucky incidences, and in not being able to hold it together in that last solve when it mattered most. But I think he'll be able to put on a comeback here.
And remember, Chris, you already mentioned it, Owen's PLL recognition hasn't been the best in this competition so far. So it's really Owen going to have to try and break through some of those bad habits and get over his own hill that he's setting here for himself. First solve here in set number 2. White cross is the choice, gets through F2L. Quick last layer for Owen, 10.05 to start.
Owen with a 10.05
PLL recognition looked much quicker in that solve. When your PLL recognition isn't that fast, you have time to realize how important that recognition is and get nervous and second guess yourself on which PLL you're going to do. And that is not what you want. You want PLL recognition to be instantaneous and there to be no nerves mitigating that factor.
And here goes Miles, has to beat a 10:05 set by Owen, and he's going to do so with an 8:18.
Miles with an 8.
Great solve from Miles. There we go. Definitely looking quicker than Owen. Owen's got to up his game. He got lucky to walk away with a win in that first set. He's got to up his game if he wants to take this out in 2-0.
I'm ready.
Both Owen and Miles making their PSL debuts here today at the tail end of the inaugural season of the Premier Speedcubing League. Here goes Owen for his next solve. Pretty smooth turning here to start. A big pause, though, going through the middle of F2L. Again, rough PLL recognition and a 9:12 there for Owen.
Yeah, he just shouldn't be having that long of a pause for that last step. It's not that tricky to recognize PLL. Definitely something I would be telling him to focus on if I was his coach. But a 9.1 is a decent solve. Might be able to get a point on the board in this set with that. But you've got to think, surely that could have been half a second faster.
8 seconds.
Let's see what Miles can do here. Has to beat a 9:12 set by Owen. Quick turning here from Miles. Working on White Cross through F2L. Puts it down with a 7:13. Miles takes solve number 2.
That solve looked great for Miles. The start was so quick, well inspected, well turned throughout F2L. Few rotations towards the end, and just a simple OLL PLL. Didn't double flick the D2s on that A-perm. Probably cost him the sub 7 there, but a 7.1. Putting him on set point. What a great
8
solve.
seconds.
This is a great response from Miles Reavis after those series of incidents in the previous set. He's coming out and he is ready to fight here in this next set. Owen, a huge pause as he's trying to work through F2L.
He knows it.
10:89.
8-9-second solve.
Owen with a ZB probably was not worth it. Used a pause instead of... One way you cannot have long pauses on your PLL recognition is to not have a PLL altogether, but then you end up with a big ZB recognition time instead, and some awkward cases for F2L towards the end. This case is pretty tricky to recognize, but pretty nice to execute, even though he did have some lockups towards the end of it there.
Set point here. Miles got to beat a 10:89. Quick turning again here from Miles. Still working through F2L. There is the F2L. Last layer right now. A little bit of a fumble. 10:28. Disaster
It's a +2.
averted. No, it is a +2. You're right. So Owen stays alive.
That makes it 2-1 for our fourth
Miles, that
solve.
is brutal. The lockups towards the end, the +2 cost him that set win. Just feeling the pressure when it matters most. Oh my goodness, that's so disappointing. Hopefully he can still keep it together, and he's got 2 more opportunities to take out this set.
Tried to get that last move off. He just couldn't do it and was thinking too quickly and stopped the timer. And that +2 keeps Owen in this match. He's up 1-0.
I'm ready.
Once again, it is set point here. Owen is solving first. So Miles will know what he will need to try and beat Owen and tie this up at 1 set apiece. And here goes Owen. White Cross is going to be the choice. Pretty smooth turning here. Quicker F2L. Working through last layer. 9:26. A little bit of a rough recognition again, but a sub 10-second solve for Owen.
Yeah, the PLL recognition continues to plague him. That's the second time he's had that exact U-perm in the right angle to be executing it from, and he's done a U-move just to have to U-move it straight back. Look, U-prime, and a few lockups, a bit of hesitation. With a better PLL execution, that's easily a low 8-second solve, but still, it's putting a lot of pressure on Miles.
It does. Here goes Miles. Quick rotation there as he works on yellow cross. Still working on F2L. Able to get through it. Quick last layer. 8:41. We are tied up at one set.
We are all tied up at one
Yeah,
set.
good solve there. A lot of moves in the F2L, a lot of rotations, but turned his way through that solve and into the final set. I believe
Truly,
Miles
Chris,
should be
no
solving
room.
first here.
Yeah, Miles was the one who solved previously to finish off that set. So, yes, it should be Miles going first here. It's been a little bit of a confusion with that throughout the day. And we'll see if it is indeed Miles going to go first. No, looks like it's going to be Owen first.
I'm ready.
I bet you this is going to be Miles' cube. No? Okay, guess not. Alright, well maybe we are wrong here. Owen will be solving first in this final set. Whoever wins this set will be moving forwards to the losers finals and will secure themselves at least a third place finish in this competition.
Quick recognition there from Owen, a 795.
There we go. That's the best solve we've seen from Owen so far. His first sub 8 with a UZB. Looks like he knows that set. Lots of pauses throughout F2L here. Got two nice cases. Actually forced this ZB case and got one of the worst U cases. A little execution error towards the end, but a sub 8. Good job, Owen.
That's putting a lot of pressure on Miles. 795 the time to beat. Trying to get through last layer. Puts it down with 808. So close, but Owen takes the first solve.
Wow, that's a super close solve on to start this set. 808, just over 0.1 behind, and not many ways to make this solve faster. Some OLL lockups there. That's probably what lost him, but a well-executed U-perm just wasn't quite quick enough.
8 seconds.
Stotts with his first sub 8 second solve just a few moments ago. Can he keep this momentum up? White crosses again the move, but a huge pause right away as he picks up the cube. Another big pause there, still working through F2L. This is going to be one he wants to put behind him. 1177 there for Owen.
That cross took him almost 3 seconds. Had to finish with an F2 is not a move you want to be finishing a cross with unless you've done some X-cross shenanigans. Just not great inspection there. Led to a poor cross solution and then no flow into the F2L. And that 11, that's surely not going to be good enough. And Mars will be able to tie up this set.
Door is wide open here for Miles, a native of Farmington Hills, Michigan. Using up 10 total seconds of inspection time. White cross is the choice here. Couple of pauses working through F2L. Does so at about 7 seconds. Finishes last layer with a 904. Miles gets the job done. We're tied at 1 solve apiece.
Another case of not great, but good enough 904. Okay solve for Miles, but when you're going against an 11, that's all you need to beat. You don't need a fast solve. All you got to do is beat the other opponent.
I'm ready.
And this could be a big advantage all throughout this third and final set here for Miles. Owen solving first, so he's going to know what he needs to beat every single time. It's just going to be, again, about Owen being able to work through his own mental game and get through the own hump with some of his issues that he's had. Big pause working on the last layer, 1056.
Stu, what are you doing? You give me some hope. The start of this solve was so smooth and the F2L was looking okay. Bit of a pause on the F2L last pair and then OLL was fine, but the PLL, oh, Stu, you're breaking our hearts.
Just a rough time for Stu with that PLL recognition. Once again, the door's open here for Reavis. Needs to beat a 1056. Quick turning here for Miles. Still working on White Cross. Still needs to get through F2L. Does so. Able to stop the timer with a 1062. He solved the cube, but didn't stop the timer quick enough.
What is this plot armor that Owen has on right now? The PLL fumbles and Miles had to fail to stop the timer twice to lose that solve, and he somehow did, and Owen is on match point. This is ridiculous. There's so much plot armor on this guy. He got a PLL skip as well. Look, failed to stop, got it eventually, but it was too late.
8 seconds.
Oh my goodness. Against all odds, Stotts is at match point right now. Remember, Owen solving first, looking to slam the door on this one. Still looking to get through F2L. Another big pause for PLL recognition and a +2, a 14-17. My goodness.
Oh my goodness, what are we watching? This is so messy, and Owen getting the same PLL that has plagued him before, and the PLL issues. I think if he's going to take this match, it has to be on solve that isn't a PLL, because under pressure, he's just not executing them well. And Miles is almost certainly going to take this to 2-2, and we're just going to have one final solve to decide the match.
Match point here for Miles Reavis. The door is open. Needs to beat a 14-17 set by Stotts. But against all odds, Stu is surviving. Can he survive one more time here? Miles looking to put a stop to that. White cross quickly through F2L on the last layer. 8-16, no problem for Miles. We're tied up at 2 solves.
And here we go. Match point for both competitors. Whoever wins this solve will win the match. Whoever loses will be eliminated. I'm just hoping this last solve isn't plagued with incidents like this match has been so far. Stu just got a 14. Hopefully he can keep it together. Or is his plot armor going to save him once again?
He's going to have to try and keep it together. Quick inspection here for Stu. White cross is the choice, turning pretty quickly here as he's looking to get through F2L. Not able to do so yet. PLL recognition there at the end. A 1083. The door is open for Miles.
Doing ZBLS on that solve. The start of that solve for Owen looked so good. I had a lot of hope for him in that, but then the middle of F2L, just too many pauses. Did ZBLS, got himself a T case, which he didn't seem to know. Let's watch it here. Yeah, ZBLS gets a T case, quite a nice case, but he doesn't know it and gives himself the same G-perm he's had 2 solves in a row. Executes it a little bit better this time. That's the 3rd time he's had that in this set. Back to back to back to back. And his match point.
Needs to beat a 1083 here, does Miles. Still working his way through F2L. Able to get through it. Puts it down with an 893. Miles is moving on.
The plot armor gets pierced, and Owen Stotts will be going home. But you've got to say, a well-deserved win for Miles. That was a tough battle, though. We had to face incidents, face +2s, face timer stop errors. All of those almost cost him the win, but well handled on that last solve to finally eliminate Owen from PSL Michigan.